It's been an up and down afternoon for the Bucks. They've taken a point from a 2-2 draw with Boston United here this afternoon in National League North, and their manager Gavin Cowan with me. Gavin, we just said before we came on camera there that was that do you consider that a point gained in the end, or is that maybe 2 dropped? Or
no, I think the next week or so will tell. We've got 2 home games now, so I think this result will be defined by those. I think very mixed feelings about today. I thought we were very much in control first half. We needed to be more ruthless and clinical, which is something I've said before, so something that we've got to address. We weren't reliable at times or efficient, and again I think that was because we're so in control. I suppose a bit of complacency sets in, so something that we've addressed with the lads previously, but in terms of work rate and desire, it was a real privilege to be a part of in terms of that first half, because I thought we completely dominated, and it was a question of how many. But that was my challenge to them second half, was to go out and match that, and I felt too many didn't. The front 2 who received a lot of plaudits first half were pretty vacant second half, as well as a few others. So then they need to understand that we need to put games to bed. When we're controlling games and playing our patterns and being pretty dominant, we need to put games to bed, and we should have done that by half time.
Sure, okay, so that sort of helped change the momentum, and injury to Andy Witchley in the first half as well. Did that impact upon the team at all?
No, not really. We're fortunate, aren't we, to have a couple of number ones. So I made a decision to leave Joe out today just purely based on I thought Andy deserved it, no other reason. So obviously it's unfortunate for Andy, and we'll go over to the hospital now and make sure he's all right. I'm sure he will be, but with Joe, very confident in him, and I thought he showed unbelievable strength of character. To be essentially left out, I suppose, as a young lad, to come in and pull off a couple of great saves. His kicking was on point. He was dominant from crosses, and I'm really pleased for him, because he really put in a performance that I brought him in to do today.
Sure. Difficult place to come, Boston. I think it's about the first time in 3 seasons that Telford have left here with even a point. And when they got the incentive of that penalty in the second half, that you felt that with the crowd, didn't they? They got behind them. Yeah,
and you can't do that when you come away from home. Like I say, you've got to be ruthless. You've got to be crazy ruthless. You've got to make sure that they don't get any momentum, that they don't smell blood. And it's something that we discuss often. And all that comes from is being reliable, being efficient, and I liken it sometimes to a boxer that doesn't waste punches. Put it in right areas, and like I say, don't give them a sniff at anywhere. And we didn't do that. We were our own worst enemy, and they gathered a bit of momentum, and then got the penalty, which again I thought was quite dubious. But we sort of, again, we're our own worst enemy, and then they get the goal because we don't really manage the game well enough. So I was really disappointed. But one thing the lads have got to be commended for is that strength of character. Like you rightly say, maybe in seasons gone by that's not been at the club, but I think it's clear to see that these lads, they'll always make sure that they give everything, and that was apparent. And I thought it was, a draw today was the least that we deserved. But second half we need to be better. Sure.
Did you have any views on that penalty in the second half?
Yeah, I didn't complain. It's difficult because I'm quite a way away. Theo's adamant it was outside the box, and my initial reaction was it was outside the box. And again, I said to the referee at half time, I felt as though he felt a little bit sorry for him. There was a couple of challenges that they put in, no bookings, when I'm not really an advocate for people getting booked, but again lacked a bit of consistency there. I thought giving out bookings for certain tackles and not others, and I felt as though he started to turn and maybe feel a bit sorry for the opposition. I'm sure he'd say he wouldn't. Maybe it's not a conscious thing, but it felt that way. But he was really engaging and really easy to talk to, so that was a positive. But yeah, I didn't initially think. I'm keen to look back at the video, but I didn't initially think it was a penalty.
Sure. You spoke about that spirit, and that with a goal in the 5th minute of injury time to get you an equaliser. That's that spirit's there, isn't it? That fighting quality.
Yeah, of course. That's there, and it's great to know. But I don't want to be doing that every week. Especially when we control the game like we did in the first half. I want it put to bed. I'd rather just sort of be bringing players on and maybe moving the squad around. And I've had to leave Marcus Denanga and Andre Brown on the bench today, which is not what I wanted to do ultimately. I want them coming on and getting minutes and playing games, and we should have been out of sight really first half, and that would have been a great opportunity to give them some minutes. But like I say, the next week or so, the next 2 home games will really determine how good this point is, because there is a feeling of 1 minute I'm thinking that's a brilliant point away from home, the next minute we controlled the game, we should have really been ruthless. And so I suppose I better just be at peace with the fact that we've got a point, and that I'll know a little bit more Tuesday, Saturday about how good this good a day this was.
Yeah, sure. I suppose one final point to close on today. It's just had a kick-off today. Obviously, they announced the return of Adam Dawson on loan for the rest of the season. What's your thinking behind that move?
Well, it's a no-brainer. You know, I know there was a bit of commotion when he left, but myself and the players actually have always kept a good relationship with him. I know he's very appreciative of the fact that I've been there to offer him advice and you know, give him guidance along the way. There was no ill feeling between us when he left. You know, people move on. I placed him on a non-contract basis because I felt as though it wasn't a commitment that as a football club we needed to make. He needed to prove himself, but he, you know, as he said, he maybe just lacked a bit of patience, wanted some more minutes, and you can't deny players that. Sometimes they want more minutes and they want more game time, and that's what he wanted. You know, I know there was a bit of commotion when he left, but it certainly wasn't between us, and it wasn't between the players. We were ecstatic to see him on Thursday, and we always remain loyal. You know, like we control the controllables in the sense that we remember earlier in the season when he was coming off the bench and playing a huge part in gaining us points, and I felt as though again, you know, if anyone wants to question why he comes back, which they absolutely shouldn't, then he comes off the bench again today and creates the goal. So that's why he's here. You know, he's a great character when he's on it, when he's on form. You know, he's a miserable little git when he's not getting minutes, but we have to deal with him. And what he's promised and what he's desperate to do is to come and really contribute into what we want to achieve this year, and that's his sole goal. So I think he wants to come and make this his home, and you know, we're really pleased to have him back. It's a different dimension to what we do going into the back end of the season.
Okay, that's great, Gavin. Thanks very much, and we'll see you on Tuesday for the visit of Darlington.
Look forward to it, mate.
Cheers, thank
Brilliant.
you.
Cheers, safe journey out.
Cheers.